Hey beautiful ones, how you doing today? Welcome to Adisi land. I am driving to the gym alone. Thought I'd do a little daddy vlog on the morning routine. So we have 3 kids, if you don't know that already, from the other videos. Check them out, they're ridiculous and awesome. And one of them goes to school, so we're up at like 5:30 or 6 every morning. And I get my stuff together, and I kind of peel off by myself, and I head downtown to the gym first. So this is kind of like my morning sacred alone time where I get to kind of meditate and have my workout, get my mind together, get ready for the day. If I get a workout in first thing in the morning, particularly if I combine it with some kind of physiological, spiritual practice, which for me, yoga has been a huge benefit, a huge part of that. It really sets my mind in a really calm and focused place for the rest of my day. And I feel like I've even known that for a while, that principle works really well. But it's been difficult to get myself to take the actions in that direction every day. Here's what I think it is. And if you know yoga, you probably know this. So your heart is way more powerful than your brain. And some people say that your heart is actually where all of your like mental and memory activity is stored, that your brain is more of just like the processing unit that allows you to like draw that stuff up and like see it in your brain, in your inside vision. And so I think that so much of what is that weird discrepancy between like, I know this is a good thing in my brain, like for sure it's a fact, you know, science told me so, or I just feel it, you know, but I can't do it. I can't get myself to do it. That's because something's blocking it inside my heart. And I think that's why I'm always so trying to be aware of and attentive to how my heart is feeling and what my heart is feeling, because I really think that whatever's happening there is actually setting the stage for what's really going to take place through my actions. And you know, I think my brain is a really important and beautiful thing, but it's like, it's not the captain of the team, you know what I'm saying? I think my heart is the captain of my team. And so that's a pretty interesting idea. I didn't always think that way. To me, it's all about, life is more like multiplication than it is addition. You know what I mean? We think like one day of good action plus one day of good action equals like the equivalent of 2 days worth of good action. But I think that it doesn't actually work that way. I think it's more like 1 year of good action plus 1 year of good action actually multiplies into like 5 years of what you would imagine the benefits being if you were thinking about the benefits adding up over 5 years, but from an addition standpoint. Does that make sense? I'm really playing with this idea right now. I would love to hear what you think about this concept of like life is actually exponential versus addition based. And I think that works both ways. You know, it's instead of just like 1 day of bad choices plus 1 day of bad choices equals 2 days worth of bad choices. I think it's like, it goes the other way, you know? And that's what's the real trick about it. If you make bad choices for a year, it might not feel like it, right? Because you're on the flattish part of that curve still, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh. So if you ever, you know what I'm saying? You ever feel like you went around for a while and then suddenly your life just fell apart? Well, it didn't fall apart suddenly. You were already making choices for quite some time prior to the suddenly thing that you consciously observed that were already in tune with that crash that happened later, and vice versa. You know, if you're like just in a groove and you're like, man, you're like, I don't know when this is gonna happen or what's gonna happen, then all of a sudden you just like suddenly experience success or a boost in your overall circumstances. It's not accidental. Like you had to have been putting in time ahead, where it appeared as though perhaps to yourself or those around you not much was happening, maybe even nothing. You know, and I think that's like the great test phase for us as we go through these cycles in life. It's like, can we hold out long enough at the beginning of that ramp before that curve takes place? And if we can, and if we can realize that that's how life actually works in our favor, if we choose it to, then we can have a lot more peace, you know, in that process. And I'm in that right now. I'm in like a whole new chapter of like this thing, you know, where I'm not here yet, but I know here is going to come. And it's going to be cool because I'm going to be doing this when here comes, and you're all going to see it, and it's going to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Yet again, in another way, in another version of a person's life. And I'm excited about that. So tell me your thoughts. Do you feel like you've experienced this in your life? Does this make sense? Does this sound crazy? I would love to hear what you think. I would love to learn from you because I love learning, and you can learn from anyone or anything all the time if you keep an open mind and an open heart, right? So have an awesome day. Keep it real. Subscribe to our channel. We always put up videos, 1 or 2 a week. Goofy kids, wonderful family, thoughts on life. Adisi land, where love is always the answer. Have an awesome day, guys. I'll talk to you soon.